I think if there's one thing to highlight about Volpe, it's the passion and the kindness that the employees of Volpe bring to interns and to everyone alike.
Everybody is so nice and so willing to go out on a limb for an intern and help you to grow.
You see the transportation needs across the country, how they justify their projects and what their priorities are.
Having a good understanding of what Volpe is and what Volpe does can help you really jumpstart your career as a Pathways intern at Volpe, and even if as a full-time employee at Volpe, if that's what you choose to do. Hi, I'm Ace Lewinsky. I use they, them pronouns. I'm a student trainee general engineer. I attend the Illinois Institute of Technology in Chicago, Illinois, but I'm originally from Fredericksburg, Virginia, which is about 40 minutes south of DC, getting my bachelor's in civil engineering and my master's in transportation engineering.
Hi, I'm Samantha Volkmeyer, and I am a policy analyst Pathways intern. I am originally from Stillwater, Minnesota, but right now I'm in Chicago, Illinois. I'm at the University of Chicago doing my master's in public policy.
Hi, I'm Sarah Rosenthal. I'm a policy analyst in the System Safety and Engineering Division. I'm from Millburn, New Jersey. I just graduated this past summer from Boston University with a degree in environmental policy and analysis.
I'm originally from a town about 40 minutes south of DC, and when my family went into DC, we would stop at the Springfield Metro stop so we wouldn't have to deal with all the traffic. So I really loved going on the Metro system and seeing all the buildings and construction go by, and it really sparked my interest in transportation as a whole. And then I always knew I wanted to go into engineering because I really like robotics and math, which not a lot of kids in high school really like math. Working on the private consulting side for only a few months, I realized that I really like the goals of government a lot more. I feel they're a lot more humanized, working towards making sure that we're creating a transportation environment that works for the people around, not just kind of the trucking industry or like driving cars.
I wavered around in my undergrad years, deciding between which engineering field to go down, ultimately because I was interested in transportation notionally and landed on environmental civil engineering as a route to that. But I knew that I would go back to school to do a master's degree. I was interested in decarbonizing and the energy transition. I really was interested in policy and paving the way for allowing some of those bigger infrastructure projects to go through. And so I was talking to somebody at a conference for a different DOT office, and they mentioned that Volpe had Pathways internships open, and so I applied. So that's how I found Volpe and a policy position here.
I'm originally from like a town sort of outside Newark, New Jersey. There's a lot of environmental justice issues that the community is very involved in. So I was kind of always interested in like emissions tracking and equity. Like I knew I wanted to work in government. I knew I wanted to work with like people impacting their day-to-day lives. I was very interested also because I know Volpe has interest in environmental justice and equity, especially. That's kind of what attracted me.
You can work on a lot of different projects that cover a lot of different topics, and I think that's what makes it so interesting and fun, is you're not being tunneled into one really big project. You can have your hands on a lot of stuff.
Everybody's been very supportive of getting into different pieces and learning new things that you're interested in.
Lots of like project managers, if they need an extra hand and your skill set fits that need, they'll pull you onto a project.
I've done some work with grade crossing research and trying to figure out ways that we can make grade crossings with cars and pedestrians safer. Reviewing grant applications, which I found very fun because it's seeing kind of the first part of local and state governments trying to create better transportation networks for the people who live there.
I've been working on recently the biennial report analysis with Sam. We've been working on building out an integration plan for federal highways.
I was interested in getting a little bit of exposure to FRA work and doing a little bit more of the data analysis. And so the division head was able to kind of put me in contact with somebody who's working on some of that. And so everybody's been very supportive of getting into different pieces and learning new things that you're interested in. The best piece of advice I could give would be to just be aware of how much support you have, even if you're a remote intern. I think my expectations were definitely exceeded by the amount of support that I had, being assigned a mentor and having sort of regular meetings with the division head made it easier to kind of stay aware of what was happening throughout the division and at Volpe as a whole, and to feel like I was connected to the institution even as a remote intern.
Be open-minded. Like a project manager might ask to pull you under a project that you might think you don't have any interest in, but you would be surprised how much you learn.
I think that you can always say it a billion and 10 times that the people are what make Volpe so special, and the support you receive through team managers, but also just like colleagues that you're working with. It can take a little bit to get integrated into your teams and to get integrated into possible teams that you might be interested in. So I think that would be my biggest advice, is to really understand what Volpe does, because it's so interesting. There's so much work, so that you can come in head first, ready to go.
Now it's your turn. What's your story?